Morning, fellow creators. Ben here from Cinder Studios. It is just before 8 a.m. Saturday, July 8th. I looked at it and forgot almost immediately. And it's been a while since I've had a studio vlog, so let's get into it. So I don't think I really checked in with the vlog since before Splatter Worlds opened. At least I don't think it's been forever. Couple of hiatuses, couple hiatus weeks, various things like that. So first of all, opened up my first solo show in over 10 years, Splatter Worlds. Really fun. Actually, just last night I had some open hours at the gallery for that. Sat for a little bit. A few people came in. Was able to sell a couple things, so that's always good. In a recent response, I could say, to some hiccups at my regular gallery spot, I've decided going forward I'm going to be scaling back my presence at that other gallery in order to focus more so on getting myself out there again a little bit more. I've kind of been riding a, you could say a high, but it's been my sales have been plateauing and tanking a little bit in the past about year and a half. So I'm like, you know, it's time to put myself back out there, start looking at some other gallery spaces, other venues, things like that, and kind of break out of the little bubble that I've been in for the past like 4 years.
He lives in a bubble.
So with that little revelation, I was like, suddenly it just motivated me to start pushing my work even a little bit further, because I know, at least with some of the other venues and things that I've tried, in order to get myself to that point, I need to really up my game in terms of the quality and the work that I'm producing. So pretty much since Splatter Worlds opened, I've been doing my best to really start thinking and pushing new ideas out there, not just compositionally, but in terms of media. The first of one of these, this is really rough. I don't want to mess with it too much currently. I've got a couple of art communities I want to reach out to online to give me a little feedback. So I've been wanting to do, ever since I did my my Samus drawing in charcoal, I've been wanting to do something else. I really like the way that turned out. I think that the general heavy darks with the charcoal really lend itself to more character work. So I've been thinking about a Batman piece for a while. So this is kind of a rough currently. I was going to do like him sitting on a building as a portrait, but then I was like, I like the idea of just a silhouette of him in the cape on a building. Maybe like the eyes of the Joker and his cape acting as the big smile or something. Not really sure. Needs a lot of work before I'm ready to even say that the composition in the sketch is where I want it to be. But that is just something I'm kicking around in my head. Second of the two is this watercolor and ink piece that I've been working on. I recorded the whole watercolor process in time-lapse, and then forgot that I was doing it in time-lapse last night when I was sitting in the gallery and doing all of the ink work. Put that a little closer. I don't know how much of that's going to show up with the lighting difference. Not really. Anyway, so with where it is now, anyway, I did about all I could. I was messing with my with some dip pens last night and took my red and black inks with me, and really had a blast with that. There's a couple of mistakes I have to fix, but I got as far as I could with the dip pens, and I took a pilot with me that I didn't do much with. So at this point now, I'm probably going to be doing a bit of work with a thin brush, something like that, with the black ink, and then I want to come in with some white gouache to really kind of amp all of the lights up a little bit too. So this is probably what I'm going to be doing this morning, because it's looking pretty good, and I definitely like how it's turning out. There's one more project I want to show you guys. Now, despite not needing to buy more canvas, I still found myself at Michael's buying a canvas. I'm not actually sure how big this one is. Hang on, let me get a tape measure. Ironically, I picked this up for one of the gallery pieces that I'm now not going to be showing at that gallery because he kept wanting, my guy kept wanting big stuff. Anyhow, this is 30 by 40 inches, looks like. And you might be wondering, why aren't you touching this? Why is it in the corner on top of 2 laundry baskets? Like, well, my overzealous mind, one evening after work, I think earlier this week, said, hey, let's do this whole thing in oils. So I went really liberally with this. I squeezed out bits of oil directly from the tube onto the canvas, scraped that around with a knife, and then evened it out with a brush. So it is a wet mess right now. I may also do a little bit with this today as well. I want to put some clouds in. Some of the blue up here is still a little bit streaky. I could probably get a soft enough brush and kind of blend that out a little bit more, which I also might do. But yeah, it is. I used a lot of paint on here, and it's just touching the sides. It's still basically as wet as it was when I painted it several days ago. So this is just going to live back here for a while. Hey, I actually, come to think of it, I really do like the idea of giving this another buff, so to speak. Just a little chip brush might work. I got to clean these brushes the rest of the way too. But just a nice dry brush that I can really even stuff out with here. But I really want to get to that drawing first, that mixed media thing, because that's on the forefront of my mind. So I'm going to set this brush here, and then get back to that. Actually, you know what? I think I'll probably toss in the time lapse for the color portion of this here, and then we'll cut back to me working when you guys watch that. So that'll get you up to speed with what's been going on with this. Alright, so I gave you guys the brushed layer of the blacks as well, just to finish that off before I grab the white. And I think I'll talk to you while I'm doing the white. So something else I forgot to mention at the top of the vlog here is that, wow, my white gouache is drying in the tube. I announced it on the Discord server, and I announced it as a small part of the... Wow, that is really dry. I'm going to have to put some water into that. Mentioned as a small part in the channel community YouTube post thing that hardly anybody even looks at. But I have started an official Cinder Studios newsletter. Sign up for that is on the homepage of my website. First issue of that is coming out this Sunday, tomorrow. So if you guys happen to see this before then, you can sign up and get that first issue. It will be a series of things like, here's what's inspiring me this month, here's what I'm working on, here are the new pieces that I made, and if you live locally, here are the upcoming shows, and where and when they are. I thought I had an eyedropper in here somewhere. I know where I can get one, though. Okay, that's gonna sit in there. And soften back up. I have to keep this vertically, though. Alright. A little bit of water. But yeah, so I started a newsletter. And, I'll let that sit on there a little bit. And, if you guys are interested, go sign up. And I will, get you guys on the list. Newsletter should come out the second Sunday of every month. But knowing me, there'll probably be some hiccups and hiatuses here and there. I'm going to do my best to stick with it, though. And that's just one small piece of a larger puzzle. I was talking to the co-owner of the gallery Spider Worlds is in last night, and I was saying something about, like, I feel like at this point I've outgrown the gallery that I had been in previously, not his, the other one. He who should not be named. I don't want to... I mean, if you guys watch my stuff enough, you know where I'm talking about, that I don't want to call them out publicly, currently, until everything's kind of settled away. But I was just saying a lot of it, I feel like my... both as an artist and as the work that I'm making, I think I've outgrown and matured out of that space. So I think it's really due time that I start, again, finding work in places where I can show that now match my more refined sense of work and style and everything. So I feel like that is the direction I should be going. So I'm heading there. So at this point with this piece, what I'm basically doing is coming in where I did everything else dark in the heavier red section. Any of this intersection here, I'm using my white rather than doing sort of just the shadow layer for that stuff. I'm coming in doing just a highlight layer. Mostly it's to clean up the edges here around a lot of these shapes, because everything is that it absorbed too much into the paper, because paper was still a little wet, so it just kind of bled in. So I'm just trying to take a couple edges and define them a little bit more, and also help define some shapes, but keeping it relatively sparing, so I don't want to go overboard, because it is background stuff, so I'm just trying to keep it a little bit subdued, which is why I'm sticking with white. I can smell the linseed oil from across the room. It's calling to me. It's like, come work on the canvas. But it's like, nope. We got to finish this first. All right. Well, I'm definitely at that point now in every piece where I feel like if I do anything else, I'm gonna screw it up. So I have to stop. I felt like I was gonna be a little more confident with the white, but I decided to just try to limit where I put it. I was gonna do more with it, but I'm like, you know what? That's enough. I don't want to make it too busy. either. So, I'm going to go with this. I feel like that's pretty good. I was looking for a white pen. I have a couple, but not ones that want to do what I want them to do. So I'm going to go ahead and sign this with some white charcoal. It is July. Well, that just looks off. That's not, nope, not white charcoal. Definitely not white charcoal. Because that's going to be, I didn't think to take the roughness of the paper. It didn't occur to me as something to account for. So, I don't have the pen that I thought I did. Do I have a thin? I do have one. Oh, thank God. Do have a thin paint marker filled with some Titan Buff, so that will be fine. Still be a little bit off color, but not terribly so. That's alright. Probably a little thicker of a line than it needs to be, but yeah. There we go. This is, does this have a name? Oh yeah. It was slightly based off of a sketch. Mire of Shadows. Nice sort of spooky red and black piece. Always fun to work roughly monochromatic every now and then. So this will get hit with a regular spray clear coat. And then I'll have to find a frame or something for it, which will be difficult in and of itself, but I'll leave that up to me for later on down the road. Alright, let's see if I can even this thing out a little bit. So I've got that chip brush. I also have a foam paint doodad, those little dollar store ones. I actually have two of them. I one that I was messing with the blue with initially, and I might use those if this doesn't work, but I do want to start here to see. Probably going to leave the yellow and the orange as is. It's mostly just the blue that I'm worried about. Just a couple little crisscrosses to kind of... Oh, that's already working perfectly. Okay. I don't want to make it green. I do want to try to avoid that. Plus side to oils, I mean, this has been sitting for a couple of days, but I can come back in and just work it as I could before. I'm like, yeah, I don't really like that. Let's keep pushing it. Could even go vertical and horizontal like that. Do wish I had a slightly bigger brush for this, but it's okay. I'll just work with this as I go. I might come in with the squeegee over here just to pull it a little. Spread the paint around a bit so it has a chance of oxidizing a little sooner. I don't even know how much of this will even really show up on camera, but again, since I don't work with oils a ton, it's one of those things where it's like, as soon as I did it, I'm like, I probably should have blended that out more. And if you look, I don't know how, yeah, this mottled red orange thing, this is what it was underneath. I was doing some varying layers with acrylics before I got started, and then when I got to this point, I was like, you know what, oils. But in doing that, and actually in doing this with the brush, I can already see it. I'm pulling enough of that color out. You can see some of that red underneath, which is exactly what I was hoping to have happen. Wow, yeah, that blue is a lot drier than I thought it was going to be. Wow. Okay. That's okay. Any of the streakier sections here are also why I wanted to work in some clouds today as well. Now I was basing this off of a study that I had done a couple of years back. And while there are some clouds in here, there's not as many as I'm probably going to be putting in. But I do want to add just a few mostly to match the composition, so I actually probably am going to need a little bit of a violet color to mix in over here. And I can probably afford to do a little bit more of a white up in there. But since I do have this bit of blue on my brush, that's going to help to tone down the color of those clouds a bit. And just toss a little bit in, and then we'll blend things out in a bit. So I'll pull this. Don't damage any of that too much. We'll put some here, and here. Trail it a little. Here. Dab. Dab. Here. There. That'll work. Alright. Now, I'm going to use that same 1-inch other brush here. And just push it around. I actually want to get as much of that blue off as I can to start. Because I want to start this in the sunset portion. And if I do that too quickly, or too whatever, without getting the blue out, or at least as much of the blue out as I can, it's going to really muddy it up too much. Wiggle them a little. Soften them, you know. Oh man, that's so perfect. Just little indications of clouds. Not tampering with the sky, just tossing a little in. That's reasonable. I want to pull a little more white in. That I think right in here. I don't even need the brush for this. I can just do this right with the knife. That I'll have to blend back out. Oh crap! I was not supposed to wipe that on my pants. It is the one thing that I forget when I'm working with oils. Don't wipe it on your pants because then it's going to go everywhere. That's not bad. Yeah, this tube was half full when I started. Oh, fuck, I did it again with the pants. I'm so used to working with acrylics, I'm like, yeah, pants, whatever. Pull that out a little bit. Now, the little bit of gold left on my brush is actually perfect for this. It's going to blend into the clouds and really reflect that light up. Cool. Now I need to not touch it. Because if I do, I will push things too far and mess things up. But I think that's good. I think I added just enough, a little bit of a things to keep things together, give the indication of some clouds. Now, what the baseland's going to look like for this? I have no idea. I have not the slightest clue. I did not plan that far ahead. I just really wanted to paint a big sky, so here we are. I do need to start looking at my next big acrylic piece, though. I have a few decently sized canvases. I just got to find a good composition for those. So this is going to stay here and continue to dry in the next few weeks. And I need to clean all my oil brushes up. There's going to be several baths of odorless spirits. So give me a few minutes and I'll be back. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and call this a vlog since I do want to get this up on time for the sake of the newsletter. I'm looking back through my large section of old sketchbooks for ideas I might have missed for my next piece. I'm all the way back to 2017 with this one. I haven't found one that I like enough yet. Except maybe this one. This is pretty cool. I'll put that as a definitely a potential one. Where are my sticky notes? Can never find anything. Oh, they're there. That's a maybe. So yeah, I'm kind of just looking back through because I haven't really sketched a ton lately. So I'm kind of going back into the prime when I was really cranking out some cool compositions. It's really funny too, because I'm finding stuff that I did already, like this one, which is the mural behind the camera. But every now and then there's one that's like, oh, why didn't I paint that yet? So that's kind of where I'm at. So hope you guys enjoyed this little check-in with my current projects. And yeah, I will see you guys next week with a new regular art video. One that I actually already have recorded, interestingly enough. Though I don't know if I'm going to use that one or not. So keep on creating. Subscribe, like, comment. Extra thing again this week. Go to my website to fill out the thing on the homepage. Says sign up for the newsletter. And I will see you guys next time. Huh. Kingdom of the Wind. There were a lot of good ideas in the sketchbook. Oh shit, and that one too.